Howdy, howdy, listeners. This is your host, Random Nerd, on the Critical Thinking Nerd podcast. This is episode 4, part 2, the companion to episode 4, part 1, in the Positive Masculinity series. The main focus of the series is men, but women are absolutely part of this story as well. Because the kind of men who rise or fall often have women in their lives reinforcing, challenging, or tolerating those patterns. In episode 4, part 1, we talked to the men about 4 core virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. In this episode, ladies, I'm going to talk to you about how those same virtues show up in your life and in your influence. Segment 1, Wisdom, Beyond Vibes and Validation. For women, just like for men, wisdom is about seeing clearly, not just feeling strongly. Wisdom shows up when you look at a man's patterns instead of his potential. Listen not only to how someone makes you feel, but to what their actions say over time. Wisdom shows up when you question the narratives your friends, influencers, or past pain are feeding you. Some questions to think over. Have you ever ignored red flags because the vibe or chemistry felt too good to walk away? Do you surround yourself with voices that help you see clearly, or just ones that echo your anger or fears? If there is a higher wisdom beyond all of us, then being wise might include asking, what's true here, not just what feels good? That question alone can save years of pain. Segment 2, Courage. Saying yes and saying no. Courage for women is often less about charging into danger and more about being honest when it's costly. Courage looks like saying no to relationships that are exciting but are unhealthy. Courage is also saying yes to someone even when internal and external voices keep you from being happy for yourself. Admitting I'm hurt instead of using sarcasm or silent treatment. Here's a big one for the ladies. Being willing to stand apart from your friend group, online tribe, or ideology when they're pushing you toward bitterness or dishonesty. Questions to think over. Where in your life are you staying quiet just to keep the peace, even though your silence keeps you stuck? Have you ever stayed in something toxic because leaving felt scarier than staying? If your worth is deeper than anyone's approval, then courage becomes a little more possible. You're not staking your whole identity on whether people clap for your choices. Segment 3, Justice. How you treat men and other women. We talk a lot about men needing to treat women justly, and that's absolutely true. But justice is a two-way street. Justice for women can look like not smearing an ex publicly just to win the narrative when the story is more complex. Not using children as leverage in conflict with a father. Not manipulating with tears, sex, or silence when a direct, honest conversation is what's needed. Not encouraging friends to use him for attention, money, or status. Justice also means calling out real abuse and mistreatment, supporting women who are genuinely in danger or being controlled, refusing to defend a man simply because you like him if he is doing real harm. Questions to think over. If your private conversations about men were recorded and played back, would they sound fair or fueled by contempt? Are there situations where you know deep down you've been unjust toward a man, but it's easier to keep the story one-sided? Segment 4, Temperance. Emotions, words, and desire. Temperance for women is not about being emotionless. It's about not letting emotion, desire, or fear pull you into actions you later regret. Temperance shows up when you feel rage, but choose your words instead of just unleashing them to wound. You feel lonely, but don't run back to someone you know isn't good for you just to avoid a quiet night. You enjoy attention, but don't use it to toy with people you have no intention of honoring. It also touches substance abuse, compulsive scrolling, and comparison online, shopping or spending to plug emotional holes. Questions to think over. Where in your life do you feel most out of control? Relationships, texting, social media, substances, spending. If your younger sister or future daughter copied your example there, would you be okay with it? If you ever said, "I don't know why I keep doing this," that might be your soul hinting that you need help beyond your own willpower. That's not weakness, it's honesty. Segment 5, Quick Assessment and Challenge. Just like the men, rate yourself 1 through 10 in each virtue: wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. Then ask which of these, if it grew even a little, would most change the kinds of men I choose, the way I handle conflict, or the way I show up in partnership. For the next week, pick one virtue to focus on. Choose one small behavior tied to that virtue. Wisdom. Commit to waiting 24 hours before responding to any message or decision that feels emotionally explosive. Courage. Have one honest conversation where you clearly state your needs or boundaries. Justice. Apologize where you know you've been unfair to a man, or stop participating in conversations that dehumanize men. Temperance. Set one boundary around social media, late night texting, substances, or spending. Write it down. Name it. Act on it. In closing, to close out, this episode explored looking at wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance through a feminine lens in a series centered on men. Why does this matter? Because the kind of men in this series is calling up will eventually intersect with women. Wives, girlfriends, friends, sisters, co-workers. Virtuous men and virtuous women don't magically appear. They're formed, day by day, by what they believe and how they act. Later in this series, I'll share more conversations about how faith nurtures men and women into partnerships. For now, the invitation is simple. Men, grow in these 4 virtues. Women, same to you. Grow in these 4 virtues and see what kind of partnerships become possible. Until next time, stay reflective, stay grounded, and ask yourself, if someone judged masculinity or femininity based only on you, what would they see? For truth, transparency, and fairness. If you found this episode meaningful, please continue to listen to my next episode as I dive deeper and research further to share my knowledge with you. Thank you.